let's take a look at the Canadian FedEx Cup standings right now. Corey Connors at 13, Nick Taylor at 17, Taylor Pendrith at 37, Mackenzie Hughes at 59. Then it gets interesting. Adam Hadwin at 134, Adam Svensson at 162, and then you have Ben Silverman at 163. But Mark, I want to start with Hadwin. When you see Hadwin and 134th in the FedEx Cup standings, it's jarring, isn't it?
Well, it's jarring because we know how much better of a player he actually is than that. That's what's shocking. And it is also a statement of how good the tour is every year with the new crop of players. Look at the Chris Gotterup conversations we've been having over the last couple of weeks. Where did he come from, right? So there's always a youth movement. There's always guys coming up looking for your job, looking for your spot. But to your point, Adam, Hadwin's too good to be in this position. And we're going to talk a lot about the top 50 over the next couple of weeks because they get to secure their schedule next year with signature events, etc. Top 70 with 1 week to go to get into playoffs. Hadwin needs to win at the Wyndham or he's not part of the playoffs. But Bob, for me, when we talk about Adam Hadwin, Weeksy, I'm thinking more about how does he have 4 or 5 really good starts in the fall, Weeksy, so that he secures his card for next year. Top 100, get to go through.
Well, he's been working very hard all year long on swing changes with his coach, Mark Blackburn, and they've actually gone through 3 different iterations. And obviously the first 2 didn't work, and the third one doesn't seem to be paying a lot of dividends to it. And Mark Blackburn is a pretty renowned coach who's taught a lot of guys who've done very well. So you just wonder if there's just a disconnect there or if Adam Hadwin is just frustrated by it. He's made the playoffs every year of his career. The last 10 years, he's been in the FedEx Cup playoffs. Now, there used to be 4 events where it was top 125. But to see him sitting where he is in the standings, you know that his mind is probably just going crazy about trying to figure things out. And also, he's probably getting a little tired. He's played a whole bunch of golf in a row here, trying to work his way up these standings, and he's just really hasn't gone very far.
A T44 finish at the 3M Open. That's his best finish on the PGA Tour since the RBC Canadian Open. All right, how about Adam Svensson? He showed some big glimmers of hope last week. The opening 60, he followed it up with a 75, ends up finishing T14. Bob, what'd you see at all from Adam Svensson? Because his game really has been up and down like a yo-yo.
I mean, Adam Svensson, more than any of the other Canadians, is a guy who can go low. He showed it in his career. He's had 61s and 62s, a whole bunch of them. This is not a guy who is doing this once in his career. He does this fairly often. I won't say every week, obviously, or he wouldn't be where he is right now. But he was not able to follow it up for the next 3 rounds. He was not. He almost, when you heard him talk after the first round, it was almost like he was expecting not to play well. I don't know. His comments were sort of, I won't say they were horribly negative, but they weren't super positive. Let's put it that way. He sort of said, I felt good. I had a good warm up. I was playing well, but we'll sort of see. And I mean, the putting was crazy, Mark. His putting stats were ridiculous.
Well, Bob, on Thursday, if you make about 90 feet of putts during a round of golf on the PGA Tour, is a very solid day of putting. And the further you are below 90, the weaker it gets, and the further you are above 90, the better putting day. That's kind of the standard, that 80 to 90 range. On Thursday, he had over 190 feet of putts made in the opening round for the course record, 60 on Thursday. Following day with the 75, 56 feet of putts. I mean, it's just night and day shocking, the putting numbers, to your point, Bob. But it's interesting, the comments. I mean, almost talking yourself into a poor Friday. That's what it felt like after that round on Thursday, which is mind-boggling from a guy who goes and shoots 60.